My husband slept with my mother 3 weeks before he proposed to me. She can't stand to see me happy. My mom is like stumbling out of my room.
And then he pushed me down and from the back.
So she chasing y'all trying to crash your car.
Yes. You know what? I'm finna burn this bitch down.
Okay, hold on.
I just feel somebody punch me.
Jesus Christ.
I walked in and I said, "Did you fuck my man?"
So, this is a lot. I want to get all the backstory we can. Who is Danielle? Like, where are you from? You know what I'm saying? Like, give me the backstory of just you and just your upbringing, like with your family in general.
I'm from College Station, Texas. Well, Bryan, College Station, Texas. I grew up in a very toxic family full of alcoholics, and a lot of them were on drugs. My mom and my dad, they were never actually in a relationship. He was actually engaged to someone else when she got pregnant with me. My grandfather actually took me from her because when I was a baby, her and her boyfriend were on drugs, and we were like sleeping on floors and things. So my grandfather convinced her to let him take custody of me. But then he unfortunately passed away whenever I was 3 years old. So my grandmother kind of got stuck with me. She really didn't want me either.
When did you guys reconnect then?
She was always like around, like coming in and out of my life. Like every time her and her husband would have issues, she would come and live with my grandmother. She would come down to see me like once every few months. And my dad, he wasn't around because he was struggling with drugs. He actually went through something really traumatic. He witnessed his brother being killed. He got on drugs, and it's just been like a really hard disease for him to fight. He did try to get custody of me when I was younger before he witnessed that with his brother, but it wasn't successful.
When your mom and you reconnect, right? When y'all reconnect, how old do you think you are?
When we actually like really reconnect and I actually moved with her, I was 13 years old. She was always like stealing my clothes, take over my room, and like have different guys coming in and out. Like, and I didn't have any respect for her by that time. Like I was 13, and I would do things like me and my cousin made like a sign and put it on the door, and it said whole house. I remember from that day she would always call me bitch and and she couldn't stand me.
I'm leading up to this boyfriend situation now. You're 13, so is this a big gap between when you meet this guy, or is this a childhood friend?
It's a huge gap. I didn't meet him until I was like 26, 27. We actually met on, oh my God, this is embarrassing, on a Facebook dating app. I used to be an alcoholic. So like our first time hanging out, we got really, really drunk. And I basically was just telling him about my life and just like how neglected I was and the things that I was going through with my family at the time. That was kind of like what we bonded off of, was just our childhood trauma.
You were saying what you were going through at the time. Now, what are you going through at the time as far as, is this family issue still?
It was huge family issues with my mother. She was just always treating me badly, and I was always drunk, so she always manipulated the situations and made it seem like I was the problem. I would get drunk and she would just mistreat me, fight on me while I was drunk unknowingly. Like people would have to tell me that this was happening. Like I would say that was a huge reason why I drank so much, because I couldn't get away from her. The only reason why I was living with her at the time was because she asked me to move back in with her to help her with bills, and she told me that I could like focus on school. I felt like I had no way out. I felt really stuck in place and like I wasn't progressing in life because of the decision I made to move back in with her.
Now, from 13 to 26, when did you move out initially? Like the first time you moved out?
The first time I moved out, I was 18. I moved out with my child's father, he's not Dwight, the person that I married, but I moved out with him. Like I just always was putting myself into positions where I ended up needing her.
Okay, so when you moved out, when the whole situation happened, when you were, first having a kid, or you found out you were pregnant, was she like, what was her feeling toward that? Was she like, you got to get out of my house, or like, how was she treating you?
She begged me to move in with my kids that I didn't want to. I didn't feel like I was ready for that. Yeah, she would just tell me that I needed to, that she didn't want me to live there anymore. She just wanted me to move out. So I did.
So with her and the kid's father, like, did they ever have a good relationship?
My kid's dad has never liked her. I have two kids, baby daddies. My oldest three are by one and my youngest is by another, but neither one of their dads like her.
Tell me who he is when you met him that first night, like just how this guy is.
When I first got in the car with him, I felt like he was a little rude because we went to the liquor store and he gave me his card, and the first thing he asked me was not to steal his card information. I was like, what? But once we started hanging out and like we were talking and stuff, like he seemed to be really, really sweet. Like he was overly nice and overly understanding, and he seemed like a really good listener. He really didn't talk much. He really just did a lot of observing and listening.
How do y'all lead up into starting the date? Like, when do y'all get to that point?
It was actually after like a month is whenever we started to get like serious. You know, he started to actually like take me out on dates, because before then we were just like messing around basically. And honestly, everything in our relationship moved pretty quickly. We ended up moving in together after like, I think it was like the third or fourth month of being together.
Did you move all your kids in too, or you just...
No, like he moved in with me. I remember the first day that they met, because honestly, I didn't want him to meet my family. He would always want to meet like my whole family, and I would tell him they're not really special. Like, I don't really care for you to meet them. But he would always be so persistent. So one day he came over and he got out the car and was just like introducing himself to my mom. They were just talking and getting to know each other. And I know he told her that she was pretty, and she was like, oh, thank you.
So at that point, you just like, he's just being nice, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I even asked him why he told her she was pretty, and he said, oh, just because that's your mom, I was just being nice.
Now, did you ever feel like she's trying to make up for the other two people that were in your life that she didn't like or didn't have a relationship? Did you just feel like that was her just trying to be nice this time?
I felt like she liked him because he was white. Like, she's like whitewashed, like really, really whitewashed, and she likes white people. She always would tell me I needed to get with a white boy and things like that. Like, oh, would say that they would treat me better, which I don't know where she got that from.
So the other two, what are they? What are they race?
They're black.
Was she ever with a white guy previously?
Yeah, she has. Okay. All of my siblings are white.
Okay.
I'm the only black one.
Okay. Interesting. What is your mom?
My mom is Hispanic. Okay. My dad was the only black one. She would be walking through the house and saying smart comments like, oh, like, Dwight knows you treat me bad. Like, she was always victimizing herself and saying that I treated her bad. And really, honestly, I wouldn't do anything bad towards her. Like, I was always making sure my mom was good. Like, he would do things for me and for her. She would say he was doing it because he knew that I treated her bad and I wouldn't do it for her. But in reality, I was the one telling him to do the things for her.
So, like, what things?
Like giving her rides, helping her like with money, mowing her grass, like things like that. That's it. Doing things that men do.
So was your mom still dating at this time or still messing around or anybody?
So whenever they first met, she had a boyfriend. She had been with that boyfriend for like 7 years, but it was like on and off. He was always leaving her. I think it was after like the second month of Dwight living with us, he left her.
Did you ever sense like a loneliness that happened between her?
Yeah, definitely. And especially like during the time that everything happened, she had joined the Facebook dating app and she knew that that's how we met. I noticed that every guy that she would end up talking to, they resembled Dwight. Like, they were white, skinny, tall, with a beard, had tattoos. But I did notice that she was trying really hard to get him in around that time. The things that Dwight was doing were things that she was not used to. I had never seen her be with a man who ever did the things that he was doing.
Was there anything leading up to what we about to get into where you started the night of?
Yeah, there were times where I caught him talking to other girls and I would come to her talking about it. He and I would have like arguments and she would always go straight to him and, oh, my Dwight, poor Dwight, always saying poor Dwight. But I had a feeling about him. He would get drunk and he would be like, extremely friendly with whatever girl I had around. Like if it was my cousin, my mom, or my friends, like he would be like all in their face type of thing. I just felt like he was just a nice guy.
So explain that night, explain how this all went, because I got a lot of questions for this.
Me and my mom, we decided to drink. We had got like a couple of beers and we were just hanging out in the living room, drinking and talking, listening to music. My brother, he's in prison, so he called and we were on the phone with him for like an hour, just talking to him about how much we missed him. And I remember her telling him, I can't wait for you to meet Dwight. Like, he's such a good man to Danielle, etc. She eventually says, like, she wanted to go to the bar. And I was like, okay, like, when Dwight gets off of work, like, I'll ask him if he wants to go. And if he wants to go, like, let's go. We get ready. I asked my brother if he can watch my kids. They're mostly drinking. Me, I'm really just sitting there, just like having a good time. And they're getting really, really drunk, which I was used to that. Anytime I did anything with them, like I always was the one who like I stopped drinking early, and cause I would know that I was gonna have to drive. I saw my cousin's baby daddy and like we were playing pool with him. We ended up leaving. I called my cousin to tell her that I saw her baby daddy and we were just talking, and I told her that I was gonna come over because we hadn't seen each other in a while. I go in my aunt's room and she's laying down with her boyfriend, and me and her are just talking. I'm standing like next to her bed talking to her, and my mom comes in there and she like lays on the bed, like lays across my aunt and her boyfriend. And so I'm like, what the heck? That's weird, because she had already previously, years ago, like years before all of this, she slept with my aunt's husband.
Okay, hold on now. Let's hold on now. Here comes mom, and she already had previously slept with him.
No, with my aunt's ex-husband. That's the whole reason, was continuously sleeping with him and then created a relationship with him. Told everybody she was in love with him.
How did that go down? Like what did the aunt say? How did they still have a relationship?
So basically the only reason why my aunt found out is because I went through my mom's phone and I told her what I saw. So my aunt kicked them both out. They got in a relationship, and that's when my mom told everybody that. And my aunt, she took a lot of time to heal. Eventually, my grandmother convinced her just fully forgive my mom and get back in contact with my mom. My mom went a lot of years without seeing any of her family. They cut her off. Me and my brothers and sisters were the only ones that were talking to her.
So how old were you when you found this in her phone?
I think I was like 19. For the longest, no one really knew who told my aunt. She lied and said that she had went through like the phone call history. This is actually my first time actually like vocally saying it out loud to really anyone. I know my mom had put it together though, because she knew I had had her phone the night before.
So, okay. So now where are we? And where are we at this point? She's out of the house. You're still there. Is your boyfriend, is Dwight there?
Yeah, he's in the backseat of the car, knocked out.
Is this like a normal thing to where you was like, I'm about to go party, or
no, I wasn't inside partying. I was just like we weren't in there drinking or anything. I was just sitting in there talking to my aunt and my cousin. Me and my cousin decided like we really, really wanted to catch up on certain things like that was going on in our lives. So then we go to the car and basically just to see what they're doing. And my mom had said that she had failed and because she was throwing up or something. I really don't know. So she comes to me and is like, hey, like, we're really tired. She was like, Dwight's really drunk. Like, can you take us home? I'm like, okay, yeah, like it is really late. I take them to the house, and as I'm taking them to the house, like I end up looking in the rearview mirror and I see that my mom is like leaned over, whispering in Dwight's ear. I'm thinking that like he's knocked out. I am wondering what is she saying, but like I wasn't really thinking clearly. Like that's my mom, and I was just thinking maybe she was asking him was he okay or something. She kept looking to see if I was looking. Every time she seen that I was looking, she would stop and sit back. She gets out of the car first, and then she helps him go inside. I drive off back to my cousin's house, and I just basically told her like we can talk real quick, and then I'm gonna go back to the house. As we're on our way back to her house, I get a phone call from my mom. She asked me where I was at, and I was like, I'm going back to Serena's. Like I told you that, and she was like, well, when are you coming back? In a little bit, like I'll be home in a little bit. I'm really trying to rush the conversation with my cousin because I am like, it is late. I do need to hurry up and get back home. My mom keeps calling and interrupting. She called like 2 or 3 more times. So I'm like, why do you keep calling me, asking me the same thing? She was like, I just wanted you to come home. Like, I wanted us to hang out. She was like, I'm still up. Like, I figured like we could stay up and talk. Okay. I was like, well, I'm talking to Serena right now. I'll be there in a little bit. And she was like, okay, let me know when you're coming back. And my cousin is already looking like peeping, like, because she knows what happened with my mom and my aunt. But like I said, I wouldn't think that my mom would do that to me. That's whenever I get a text message from Dwight. He's like, where you at, babe? I tell my cousin, I'm like, why Dwight just text me? And she was like, you need to go back over there. I'm like, yeah, because that right there was like, what?
So normally people might FaceTime, right? Nobody, you ain't think to FaceTime them, or nobody FaceTime you, or they just...
I'm also thinking in my head because, like I said, I left my kids there with my brother at the house. So I'm like, what I thought was that he woke up and just was like, because like I said, I thought he was drunk and out of it. So I thought maybe he woke up and just was like, dang, like where's she at? Like I said, like I'm driving and our song comes on like when I'm almost to the house. Once I get to the house, I stay there parked and to finish off the song. From my room, we could hear and see when cars pulled up. So I think that they must have heard me lock the door. I come to the front door, open the door. As soon as I walk in, my mom is like stumbling out of my room and her hair is down and like all in her face and she's looking down. I looked at her and I said, what were you doing in my room? She looked up and was like, I was just she was like, I was just asking Dwight if he needed some medicine. And I was like, oh, okay. I believed her. She goes into the living room and sits at the dining room table. I go in my room, I look down and I see my mom's shoes were beside my bed and they were facing like towards the door, like as if she was sitting on the side of my bed type of thing. And I knew that they were the shoes that she wore that night because I had picked out her shoes to wear that night. So I looked over at him and I said, why are my mom's shoes by my bed? And he was like, what? I don't know. What the F do y'all got going on? And I looked and I went to try to smell to see if there was like a scent of sex. He instantly punched me and got on top of me and started to punch me. And as he's doing so, like I am entirely shocked. I start yelling and screaming for my mom. I'm just yelling help and she never comes. And I call the cops.
Now, are they wearing clothes? Are they wearing the same clothes that they were wearing before?
He wasn't. He was in pajama pants.
Okay, so you call the cops. At this point, you've never seen him act like this?
Never.
So you call the cops. Now, did this give you any type of understanding of what happened?
I was even more confused because even like as he was hitting me, he was telling me that I probably was sleeping with my cousin's baby daddy, the one we had saw at the bar and playing pool with. So I was confused and I was like, what? So I thought that he was doing that because he thought that I had something going on with my cousin's baby daddy. And I just thought it was a crazy accusation because this is my little cousin's baby daddy. Like,
now does he knows, obviously, because you told him about all your family issues, like he knows what happened between your mom.
Me and my cousin were the ones that actually told him that. And we had actually told him that probably like a few weeks prior to that. We were
Mm.
all sitting in the car talking, and we told him what happened with my mom and my aunt's husband. And his response was, how could she do that? Like, how could they do that? That's so wrong. Like, he acted like he really sympathized with it. Like, honestly, like, he seemed like he would never do something like that.
So then, okay, so you call the cops. The cops come. Now, the cops gotta arrest somebody.
Yeah, that's if you allow them in the house. They were outside of my window, and I was trying to get him to go out. And because, like, basically, I had a lock on my door, my room door, and
Right.
he wasn't letting me unlock the door. And I was trying to get him to let me so that we could go out, like, so I could get him to go out there and they could arrest him. But then my mom, she ends up knocking on the door and she's like, let me in. And she comes in and she locks the door and she's telling me, no, I think he's just really drunk. Like, I don't think that you should send him to jail for a mistake. Like, Danielle, you're just drunk. You're just drunk. Like, I think you're just being crazy right now. And I was like, no, like, I was like, no, mom, like, you don't understand. And mind you, like, my mouth is like dripping with blood.
Oh my god.
And she's like, no, like, I think it's just a mistake, Daniel. You're just drunk. Like, what did you do to him? That
And it's
type
the
of thing.
first time you're hearing from her since you've been
Yeah.
yelling her name.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's interesting. So you said the cops only can arrest you if you let them in. Now, does that that is true, but you're the one that called the cops, so they can't. They gotta hear from you, right? Unless you tell them don't come in.
Yeah. So, as I said, she was telling me these things and she was making me feel guilty. She really manipulated me and made me feel like maybe I was being crazy and maybe I did get him to that point. Maybe I did make him feel like he should put his hands on me. Like, that's literally how she made me feel. She made me feel like I was crazy and like I'm the one who basically agitated him. I tell them, I was like, it's okay. It's okay. Y'all can go. And they kept saying, are you sure? You sound like you're really hurt. We can hear the conversation. Come
Mm.
out. And I said, no.
So let me ask, what made you put so much trust in your mom? When is this just somebody that you just kind of wanted to feel like you know, that's mom at the end of the day? Is that like a part of the reason you tried to trust her so much?
Yeah, because she was my mom. I really used to excuse a lot of her behavior. I was always defensive over her. I was always protecting her.
3 weeks later, he proposes to marry you. So, you know, explain that lead up.
He ends up actually leaving that same morning. I end up going to the hospital the next day because, like, my head was hurting really bad, really, really badly because he hit me really, really hard. And my mom went with me. And I just remember when we were in the hospital room, she was telling me she was so sorry, really just being really apologetic. And I didn't really like understand why, but we ended up going back to the house because I didn't have a concussion or anything. It was just like my lip was bloody and stuff, and I had a headache. We get back to the house and he ends up calling me and asking me if he could come back and apologizing and saying he was just so sorry that he did that to me. He was drunk. He didn't know why he did that. Basically, he hardly remembered what happened. And so I talked to my mom and I asked for her opinion, like, what does she think I should do? And she was like, well, you love him and he is a really good man. He does a lot for you, the kids, for us. She was like, I think that was just a mistake. He was just really drunk. I think that you should forgive him. So I tell him he can come back.
Explain, you know, when he gets to the crib, how is he acting now? Is he even more sweetheart, faking this personality towards you, or what?
Yes, he's like overcompensating, like just like being really sweet, getting me whatever I want. doing whatever I ask.
Is he still doing the same stuff for mom, or you know what?
Yes. He worked for a landscaping company, and like he would get like really close with like the clients and stuff, and they were always like giving him things that they didn't want. He had told me that there was this lady who was giving him like this plate set, because we were already like looking for a new place for just us. So he was like, I'm gonna bring them home for you. So he did, and literally a few days later my mom was like, can I have these plates? And I was about to say no, like, because we needed them for our new place. And he instantly said, yeah, you can have them. And I was like, you literally brought those for me. Like, why are you giving those to her? And he was like, I'm sorry, I wasn't really thinking. It's just like, I don't know how to tell your mom no. Like, I don't know.
How do we get to marriage? Like, where are we going from this? Like,
so in my mind, I just felt like that wasn't actually his character. I felt exactly like what my mom told me, is that he was drunk and it was a mistake, and that the really, really sweet person he was being was who he truly was. And I was also blinded by his gifts, money. He just literally overcompensated with gifts and money. I worked at a pawn shop, and I would always be showing him rings that I liked so that he would know what kind of ring I liked, because we already would be talking about marriage. Like before even all of that even happened, like we would talk about marriage a lot. He went and I guess he got me a ring. We went out to eat. He proposed to me there. He asked me did I want to marry him. I said yes. And I was just extremely happy. I'm gonna be honest, like before him, I felt like I was not valuable. Like I didn't love myself at all. And I didn't feel like I was someone that anybody would love. I felt like it was genuine, and I said yes. And when I said yes, I told him, hey, like, let's go tell my mom. Like, I'm so excited, because she knew that I really, really wanted to settle down. We walk in and she's sitting at the dining room table, and I just showed her my hand, and I was smiling, and I was like, I'm gonna be a wife. And she looked at me, and she just looked like this, just so angry. Like she looked furious, and she was like, congratulations. But it was like the fakest congratulations ever. Like it was so dull. He was like smiling and happy, like you wouldn't have thought nothing with him. Like he was just cheesing, and he was like, yeah, we're getting married. And my mom was she just seemed really, really angry.
all right, now, so the two story times of how you figure this out. Now, let's start with the first one.
On his birthday, we went to my mom's. While we were there, he was acting really agitated. And I kept asking him, like, do you not want to be here? And he was just like, no, not really. And his friend ended up calling and was like, did we want to go out? I was like, yeah. But then we got to the house, and I was like for us to get ready, because at this point we had moved out of my mom's house. So we're in our own place. I'm getting ready, but I was like, you know what? I was like, you just go. I was like, it's your birthday. Like, I'm gonna stay home. Like, I don't really want to go out anyways. Like, go turn up. And
What made you say that though? What made you? Because I did hear that part in the story time. What made you let him go by himself for his birthday to go out to the club?
Because I trusted him entirely too much. One, two, I just really like at that point, like I had gotten to a point to where like I didn't like going out anymore. Like it was actually after the night that everything happened, when I walked in, and my mom came out of the room, and I was at a point to where like I wanted to stop drinking, and I wanted to stop going out. I just felt like it started and caused a lot of problems, which is true. Alcohol is the root to a lot of issues. So I really just didn't want to go, like, and I knew he had someone to go with, and so I didn't want to seem like, oh, I don't want you to do nothing for your birthday, like stay home. So I was just like, just go with your friend. Like,
He goes out with his friend, and then what
well,
happens?
he tells me that he was like, I'm not going out without you. He was like, I'm not doing that. He was like, but I will go drop him off. He was like, I'm gonna go drop him off, and then, I'm not going nowhere without you. And I was just like, okay. I was like, if you end up wanting to go, like, just tell me. He ends up leaving and taking the friend, but he ends up being gone like way longer than it would have took for him to just drop him off. I start calling him, and like his phone is going straight to voicemail. So then I start trying to call him on Snapchat, and like it's like it's ringing, but like he's not answering. So I start thinking, and I'm just like, what the like that's weird. Like, what the heck? Like, he had never done nothing like that. So I was just like, that's really weird. Like, what the heck is going on? I'm texting him and the messages aren't going through, and I'm just like, where are you at? Like, what are you doing? Like, if I told you if you were gonna go out, like, you should have just told me. He ends up calling me back probably like 30 minutes later. Babe, I didn't have any service. And I was like, you're full of it. Like, there's no way that you didn't have any service dropping your friend off, and it doesn't take that long to get to that club and drop him off and come back home. Cause it had already been like an hour. I ended up telling him like, you need to go stay with whoever you was with, because that's weird behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And I locked the doors. And he ends up coming inside through like the balcony. And when he comes inside, he instantly comes and he snatches my iPad from me and accuses me of cheating on him. I was just like, what? Like, cheating on you? Like, okay. And he said he was taking my iPad to go through my iPad. He left with my iPad. And whenever he leaves, like, I'm blowing him up, and I'm like, look, if you're going to leave, like, bring my iPad back, because really the iPad, it was mine, but like my kids mostly used it. So I was just like, like, you're taking my kid's device. Like, why are you doing that? That's crazy. He ended up like, he started ignoring my calls. So then I went to his granny's house, and she ends up like telling me like, oh, like that doesn't have anything to do with me. Like, I'm basically, she ain't gonna tell him nothing. I end up calling the cops, and mind you, like, all of his mail still went to his granny. So like, she had to have known that he had a warrant, because I guess like, I didn't know, but he had stopped paying. He was on probation at the time. He had a warrant for his arrest for not paying on his ticket, on his probation fees. Whenever the cops get there, like, I'm just telling them, I'm like, he just has my iPad. Like, that's all I want is my iPad, and like, I'll leave. And he ends up pulling up like really fast and basically just walked into an arrest, because they had already searched his name and saw that he had a warrant, but they didn't tell me. He ended up calling me, basically telling me like, oh, like, I wasn't with a girl, like, I was with Isaiah and with Aubrey. I was just venting to him. And I was like, what? Like, whenever I visit him, like, I'm asking him about it again. I'm like, what were you venting to them about? Because I was just trying to figure out like what's going on in his life that he needed to vent about, like, that he couldn't talk to me about, basically. He ends up like telling me like, oh, it was nothing, it was nothing. And he just kept saying it was nothing. And I was like, I feel like it's about me. Like, if you can't tell me, like, I feel like it's about me, like, what is it? My intuition is telling me that it's something to do with me. I was like, I'm gonna go out. Like, I know that Peso, because that's Isaiah's nickname, that Peso and Aubrey are always at the club. And mind you, I had stopped going out. He didn't want me to go out. He was just like,
Mm.
why are you trying to go out? Like, you don't do that anymore. Like, why are you going? Don't go out. Like, you're tripping, you're tripping. And I was like, I'm not going out like to have fun. I was like, I'm going out because I know I'm going to see Aubrey there, and I'm going to ask them like what was talked about, because I really feel like it has something to do with me. He would just look really, really scared and was like, no, like, don't do that. And I was like, it's something. I was like, you're lying. I know you. I can tell you're lying. Like, you're lying. And I ended up hanging up the visit, and I left, and I went straight to my mom's, and I'm telling her like what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. And I'm like, I know he was venting something about me. I was like, it has to be about like cheating or something. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I just feel it in my chest, like it's something. And she was like, what? You're so crazy. Like, he would not do anything to hurt you. Why would you think that? Like, I think that you're doing too much. You shouldn't go. I think you should just stay here, just hang out with me. I end up going out that night. I ended up getting one of my homegirls to come with me, and I tell her like what's going on, like, and what the whole plan was. I end up seeing Aubrey, which is his friend's girlfriend. I go up to her, she's in the middle of the club, and I'm like, hey, like, I was like, hey. It was just like, hey. And I was like, I wanted to ask you, what was Dwight over there venting to y'all about? And she was like, what? Girl, get up out my face with that. Like, I don't got nothing to do with that. Basically, she started threatening me, telling me, like, I better get out of her face before she do something to me. This girl don't know me from a can of paint, so I could understand why she would think that she could talk to me like that. But no, I was like, so I started getting into it with her, and I'm like, why is you talking to me like that? Like, why is you being so disrespectful to me? Like, I came to you with respect. Like, I just really wanted to know. I was like, because I feel like it was something to do with me. They end up putting us out, but they put me out through the back door and her out through the front door. So I go out, I go back to the front, and I'm looking for her. But mind you, it's almost the end of the club, so there's a lot of people coming out. So finally, I end up peeping the girl, and she's in the corner crying. And I'm like, why is she crying? My friend was like, who cares? And I was like, no, like, let me see, like, why she's crying. So I go up to her and I'm like, hey, like, what's wrong? Why are you crying? I was like, I know that whatever just happened. I was like, but honestly, like, what's wrong? My friends, Peso, they left me here. I don't have my car. I was like, you know what? I was like, even though whatever just happened, I was like, I'm going to give you a ride. I was like, we're going to take you to your car. I was like, I'm not going to leave you here. We go to my car, and as we're driving, I'm asking the girl, I'm like, so can you tell me, like, what happened? Like, what was he over there talking to y'all about? And she was like, I promised I wouldn't say anything. And I was like, I don't know why you holding any loyalty to them. I was like, last time we went out, I was like, Peso was on every girl in the club, like, literally. She was like, what? He was? Girl, yeah. Like, I was like, Ben was gonna tell you. I was like, I just haven't seen you. She was like, well, you just shouldn't be with him. He's not a good person. How? Like, what happened? And she was like, he slept with someone really close to you. Who? The first thing I think of is my cousin, not because I felt like my cousin would do that, but because, like, she was more our age. She was in her 20s. Like, she was, and my cousin is beautiful. Like, she looks like me. I said my cousin, and she was like, no, someone closer. And then my heart dropped because I instantly think of the night when my mom was coming out of my room in her shoes. And I said, my mom? And she was like, yeah. I tell her to get the F out of my car. That girl, that's something so serious. Why would you not want to tell me that? She ends up getting out of the car, and she left her phone in the car. I went to my mom's house. I went directly to my mom's house. I walked in and I said, did you fuck my man? She just looked shocked and she looked guilty. And she started calling me crazy and telling me, why would I think that? Who told you that? As she's saying that, my friend is saying, this girl just told us that. She just told us that you and Dwight messed around. And my mom is like, that girl is lying, but my mom looks like she's lying. So I jump up on the table and I just start beating her up. How could you do this to me? I'm your daughter. Why would you do that to me? Like, this is my fiance. Like, why would you do that? And she starts trying to call the cops. And my friend tells her, no, we're not doing that. You're not calling the cops on her. She has every right to feel this way. And the whole time I'm just beating up my mom. And my cousin's boyfriend ends up pulling me off of my mom, and she tells me, like, he tells me, just go home. He was like, you're drunk, you can figure it out tomorrow. He was like, I don't want you to go to jail, just go home. And he's telling my friend, like, take her home. And he ends up, like, dragging me out of the house and putting me in my passenger seat. And my friend, that's whenever I tell her to take me to my aunt's. I don't know what's going on. I really didn't know how to process what was happening. I talked to my aunt and I'm telling her, like, what was told to me. And she's like, I cannot believe she did that to you. I knew it. That's why she was always on his dick. Like, that's why she was always like, oh, she loves him and this and that. So then as we're having this conversation, Isaiah, I end up seeing him in the corner of my eye, like, walking up and he was like, Danielle, give her her phone. And I was like, it's in my car. Like, go get it. And I'm not thinking nothing's finna happen. I'm like, they finna get her phone and go on about their business. He ends up going and getting the phone, and then he comes back up to me and he was like, what happened? Like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? And my aunt, she was like, do you know what she just told her? And I was like, your girlfriend just told me I just feel somebody punch me and I fall to the ground. The girlfriend punched me in my face. Me and her start fighting.
Wait, hold on now. So what made her punch you?
Basically, the reason why she didn't want to tell me is because Dwight didn't tell her. He only told her boyfriend Isaiah, and Isaiah was supposed to take it to the grave and not tell nobody, but he told his girlfriend, and she promised not to tell anybody. Like I said, I fall to the ground. She's on top of me, but I get her off of me and I'm on top of her. We fight, beat her up, whatever. I walk away and I'm walking to my car because at this point I just feel extremely drained. Like, you just dropped this information on me. I just had to whoop my mama. I just had the laws caught on me. Then you come and you sneak me and I gotta fight you. So then I get in my car. Isaiah, I guess whenever he went and grabbed the girl's phone, he had put his phone on my charger in my car. So he comes to the passenger seat and he goes to take his phone off of the charger. And I was like, can we talk? Because I really want to know what's going on. Like, can you get in the car? Can we talk? And he was like, okay, bet. And I was like, I just need to talk. Like, I really, really just need to talk because I'm so confused. Like, what is happening? And he's constantly saying, what did she say? As we're driving, the girl is in her car at this point and she's like trying to crash into my car. Like, she's constantly trying to drive her car into my car.
So she's driving behind you, chasing y'all.
Yeah. So I keep telling him, I'm like, you need to call that bitch and tell her to stop trying to run into my fucking car. I was like, so at this point, like, I'm not even able to ask him what happened because I'm focused on why is this bitch trying to hit my car. So she keeps trying to do it and I had enough. So I just pull over and I park my car onto a roundabout. I get out of my car and I'm like, bitch, what's up? Like, I'm on it. Like, you done told me this shit. I was like, and then you sneak me, bitch. Then you trying to crash into my car. Like, what the fuck? I literally, after you trying to fight me the first time in the club, I gave you a ride to your car when these people left you at the club for dead. Like, why are you messing with me? Like, leave me the hell alone. I tell her, I'm like, what's up? So we fight like 3 times. And after we fight the 3rd time, like, I'm telling her, bitch, you can't fight. Like, give it up. You done got your ass whooped multiple times in front of your nigga. Like, you need to just give it up. So she goes in the passenger seat and she all beat up and she's yelling, calling me names, and she's saying stuff like about how, oh, that's why your man fucked your mom. And I'm getting mad and like, her boyfriend is at the driver's door, like standing right there, and he opens the door for me.
So that's the first time he even heard that though, like, because you didn't even get a chance to tell him?
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to tell him that she told me that. So he opens the driver's door as I'm running up, and I get in the car and I just start beating her ass again. Then I finally get out of the car and I was like, all right, like, bitch, I'm done. I was like, I'm done fighting. I was like, y'all go ahead, like fuck you. And she's still talking shit. And I'm like, girl, fuck you. Like, ain't nobody worried about you. I end up writing my fiance at the time. I end up writing him and I'm asking him like what happened, and he ends up calling me and he tells me like, what, like, no, like that didn't happen. Like, it didn't happen. So then he ends up getting out of jail. We end up meeting up at a store and I'm like, tell me what happened. Like, I need to know. Just tell me what happened. He's like, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened. He was like, but me and your mom did not sleep together. He was like, she sexually assaulted me. She came in there and he was like, she kissed me on my neck and asked me if we could do something. He was like, because when we was in the car, she was whispering in my ear, asking me, did I want to fuck? And when she did, my heart dropped. Like, I was just thinking, oh my God. He was like, I was so scared. Like, I didn't know what to do. He was like, I went to the room. I don't even remember how I got to the room, but I went to the room. He was like, and I just remember her coming in there and kissing me on my neck, and she grabbed my and was telling me like she could please me, she'll do anything to make me happy. He was like, and I pushed her off. He was like, and that's whenever you came. I kept telling him, I was like, well, she was calling me, asking me like when I was coming home. And mind you, like, I had forgot about the fact that he had texted me. Like, I forgot about that for a long time. So I'm just constantly bringing up the fact that she was calling me multiple times. And he was like, she must have been out of the room doing that because I don't know anything about that. He was like, the kids, they were up, babe. They were up with your brother. Like, so nothing happened. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's so crazy. Like, what if the kids would have heard? What if the kids would have came in? Like, I wouldn't do that to the kids. He was like, that's their grandma. Like, just all these things.
Oh
And
my
so I'm
God.
like, you know what? He was like, what can I do for you to believe me? And I was like, I want y'all both in the same area, and I want y'all to tell me what happened. We go to my mom's house, and when we get there, like, she had a screen door, and then, a regular door right behind it. So like, she had the regular door open, and it was just a screen door. So she sees us walking up, and she says, oh shit. And she tells my cousin to close the door. So I'm thinking she thinks I was finna fight her again, but I wasn't. So
Right.
my cousin closes the door, and I'm yelling
Now let
out.
me ask you real quick. Is this the first time she's seen him since he's been out of jail?
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't write each other or nothing.
How
Okay.
would I know? How would I know if they had even talked yet? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
she says that, and my cousin hurries up and slams the door, and I'm like, hell nah, you got me fucked up. I was like, y'all both gonna tell me what happened right now, right here. And Dwight is yelling, and he's like, April, tell her what you did to me. April, you need to tell her what you did to me. Tell her what you did right now. You're wrong. You're wrong. Tell her what you did to me. And my mom is like, you little shit. You little shit. And she's talking to him, and he was like, no, come outside and tell her what you did to me. And my mom is like, fuck you, fuck y'all. I'm calling the cops. I'm calling the cops right now. And mind you, my mom is on drugs at this point. So I'm like, call the fucking cops. You're going to go to jail. I'm not going to go to jail. I was like, I know y'all got drugs all up and through there. And Dwight the entire time is yelling, tell her what you did to me, April. You sexually assaulted me. So then
Jesus
we end up
Christ.
getting in the car and leaving. And I believed him because she never denied it. She never said what happened. She never said that she didn't do that to him. She just kept saying, fuck us.
So he put the blame back on the mom because everything kind of fell back on her at the end of the day. Like, with all the problems, they all went back to her. So he kind of used that same excuse to get out of jail free card.
Yeah. I'm just crying. Like, I'm crying for days, for weeks, really for months. I spent a year depressed. Like, I'm constantly like asking him to repeat like the story over and over again. And I'm like, something just doesn't feel right. I wish she would tell me. Like, I even would like text her and ask her, and she would call me crazy and tell me, if you ever put your hands on me again, you're gonna lose your life. Telling me, fuck you, like, you're a little bitch. So naturally I believed his story because he was the only one giving me a story, and she wouldn't say anything.
Up until what happened with Wyatt, and I want to tell you what happened that night. If that's what you're looking for. Yeah. Okay. So you left. We were talking. We were on the bed. God, he has so much faith in me, and he trusts me to be the person that he's helped me to be. That I don't lie. I don't remember everything. I remember we were talking. I remember And I don't remember how it got to that. I can't swear either. I do that sometimes. I remember him pulling his pants down. And I remember him sitting back. And I remember him having it out. I don't remember everything that was said. I'm not going to lie because I don't want to make up anything. I thought about this and thought about this and thought about this. I remember that. Then all of a sudden I remember, yes, we did have sex. I was getting up, and then he pushed me down and from the back, and then I told him to stop because what were we doing? It was, I don't know if it was exactly like that, but I remember crying. I remember telling him that should have never happened. I got up. Well, I'm thinking, yeah, I got up. I was walking to my room and I laid down. And the next day, the reason that I wanted him to take me was because I wanted to ask him if he remembered everything that happened. He said he did not. And I said, I want to apologize. I want to apologize because I don't know what happened, why it happened. It shouldn't have happened.
That was actually just recently in December of 2025.
So up until then, they was denying it all the way up until December. And when was this? When did this happen?
So this happened January 21st of 2024.
2024. So you called them, or did they reach out to you and say, look, we want to just come clean?
My mom wrote me on Facebook with a long apology. Like, she was just apologizing. It wasn't genuine at all. I don't even remember what it said, but it was just a long apology. I don't forgive you for what you did to my family because, mind you, after he and I got married, he was consistently throwing in my face that my mom sexually assaulted him and saying that, like, I was weird like her and that I was equal to her. Like, basically, like, just like using the fact that my mom sexually assaulted him as like an abuse.
So if that's the story you believe, what made y'all like fall out for the final time then, to where you had to call and get the true details?
I told you right after we got married is whenever he started to treat me really, really mean. And he was just treating me poorly. And he was admitting himself into the mental hospital, telling them that he was really depressed and wanted to kill himself because my mom sexually assaulted him and that I abused him. Her being used to like our pattern of falling out and then me always coming back to her and wanting a relationship with her, I feel like she assumed that I was going to want to rebuild, like rekindle things with her.
Right.
But in reality, I knew that I wasn't going to. I just wanted answers for that night. And I began journaling, and I'm journaling a prayer for my husband and basically asking God to like bring him to him. And as I'm writing out the prayer, my mom ends up calling me and I answer the phone. She's telling me this long apology about what she put me through my entire life. I'm just like telling her, like, honestly, like, I don't need an apology for any of that. Like, that being overdone with. You didn't apologize to me for those things millions of times. Like, let's get to the real point. That's whenever the confession comes in. They were just sitting on the bed talking, and that he just laid back and pulled it out. The part that I didn't record was after she had finished telling me everything on that confession that I posted. I asked her, I was like, so did you give him head? And she was like, no, I didn't. And I was like, because you know, when you've been with somebody for a certain amount of time, you know what they do. And if what she said did add up to what he does, like, he lays back and he pulls it out and asks to get it wet. So I asked her, did he ask her that? And she was like, no. But it was like it took her some time. Like, she was hesitant. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, you did give him head, but okay. later in the night, I start thinking of questions to ask her, so I start texting her. But I see like that the messages aren't going through, so I try to call her and she changed her number. Like literally, I guess right after she confessed to me.
So, because her confession, and I heard a little bit of his, like I said, his was a little bit muffled.
Muffled.
What do you mean she did it a couple of times? She bent over and I did put it in her butt. What do you mean you put it in her butt? Huh? How did she start sucking your dick? What, she was in my bed? She bent over like where? You keep like you're not telling me like where, like on my bed? So why are you trying to make it seem like you're a victim? That was a choice.
Was that just like something you just needed to know to kind of close that chapter, or is it just like, did that put you in a deeper depression knowing that you know every single detail now?
No, I needed that. When I tell you, after she told me, I didn't get depressed. I wasn't depressed at all. I felt a huge weight lift off of my shoulders. Like I felt it spiritually, emotionally, every way possible. I felt like something just huge lifted off of my shoulders. And I felt like, yes, I can leave him and know that I was right this whole time, that I was not crazy, that I was not tripping. Like, because I felt crazy for so long for just thinking and overly questioning him about the situation.
So how did you, go about it with your mom? When she changed her number, you just never figured, like, you like, I'm just done with this. Let me
Yeah,
leave this
I was
alone.
just done with it. I was over it. I was like, and that gave me the confirmation too. Like, yes, like I don't have to feel guilty about cutting this bitch off.
Right. So how does that get explained to like your kids? Like, because you mentioned to me, but y'all aren't married anymore, right?
I'm actually working on getting a divorce from him, but
Okay.
we've been separated for, well, since December 25th.
Wait, you said so since December 25th. So that's when you figured out all this?
She called me December 9th, which was 4 days before my birthday. My birthday is December 13th. He gets out of the mental facility December 23rd. He's calling me and asking me to help him get back to our city because when he went to the mental facility, he lied to them and told them that me and him were divorced. And if I called not to tell me anything because I was crazy and he was trying to get away from me and that he was homeless. So naturally, when you tell a mental facility that you're homeless, they can't just send you to the streets. They sent him to a shelter, and the only available shelter, I guess, was in Temple. When he got there, I guess it was like a Christian-based shelter. So he calls me on my birthday, the morning of my birthday, and not knowing that I knew this information. And mind you, I had told my friends, I was like, I'm going to act like I don't know anything until I see him so I can see him in his face and ask him, well, and tell him what I know. He calls me and I answer the phone and I'm like, hello. And he's like, happy birthday, baby. And mind you, when he left, we left on bad terms. So he's talking to me like nothing happened. I was like, thank you. Where are you at? I'm like, where are you at? And he tells me, I'm in Temple, baby. He was like, I'm at a Christian shelter. He was like, I've been talking to some people and I want to get close to God. I want to get close to God with you. I want to have the relationship that you have with God.
Okay.
He was like, I'm so sorry for what happened. Like, but it's your birthday, baby. Like, I hope you have a good day. And I'm like, okay, thank you. He instantly starts talking about how he needed a way back to College Station. And I'm like, how, like, I don't have a car right now. You know that. Like my car had recently set on fire and I got in a wreck. So I was like, I don't have a way to come and get you. And he was like, you can't ask anybody. And I was like, nobody I'm close to is gonna give you a ride. I instantly tell him, I'm like, it's my birthday and you want me to spend my day trying to find you a way down here for what? No, no, I don't want you to. He was like, okay, so you want me to figure it out? And I was like, as you should, the same way you figured out how to get there. I ended up telling him, I was like, you know what? I was like, I was gonna wait till I saw you. I was like, but I feel like God is protecting me right now. I was like, so I'm just gonna tell you that I know everything. And he was like, what? And I was like, I know everything. I said, I know about you sleeping with someone else. And he was like, who? Oh, this must be some Isabel shit. And I'm
Oh
like,
my God. So he just
what?
called out somebody not even.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? And he starts bringing up other girls' names. I know everything that happened with my mom. I said, I used to tell you all the time that she was never going to tell me. I said, but I knew she would because she can't stand to see me happy. So mind you, my mom didn't know that we were having all of these problems. On the internet, it would look like we were still in a happy relationship. I told him, I was like, my mama can't stand to see me happy. We just got married recently. She was itching to tell me, this is about your mom? Yeah. And he hung up the phone. He ends up like asking me like, hey, like, can we coincide, like, basically until I'm able, like, we're able to separate, because the apartment I was staying in was in his name. So really I couldn't tell him that he couldn't go back there. So he was like, I'm gonna come back there. He was like, but I'm not gonna sleep in the same bed with you. Like, I'll sleep downstairs. He was like, you could sleep upstairs. He was like, I respect that, like, you know, you don't want to be with me anymore. I understand. Like, I know that it was just all too much. And I'm gonna respect you and your kids.
So you let him back in? Oh man. So he's back in there. Now what do the kids feel up until this point? Like, do they know all this is going down? They just think that he just left because y'all broke up.
Yeah. December 24th, Christmas Eve, he was drinking and he tried to come upstairs and sleep with me. I told him that I was not doing that because I was like, you've literally been inside my mother. I was like, and the fact that I've spent the last 2 years sleeping with you, that already disgusts me enough. And you think that now that I know, you think that I'm still going to sleep with you? He instantly got up and just started calling me names, telling me that I was trash, that I was like my mom. Mm-hmm.
So did he lose his job? Because I remember you said he was giving, you know, a lot of money, a lot of gifts. He was doing a lot of, he was massaging the bruises.
Yeah.
So was he? Did he lose his job and lose all his work?
Yeah, he lost his job because he was stealing from them.
Oh my goodness. When did they find out that?
They found it out in September of 2025.
But he was stealing for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. Mm-hmm. So okay, so it's Christmas Eve. He's calling you all these names. When does he finally get out?
Christmas Eve, like I said, he was calling me all those names, and I locked myself in the restroom. My daughters were at their friend's house, and my son was in his room asleep. And I locked myself in the restroom. And when I locked myself in the restroom, he is asking me to come out, and I'm ignoring him. I'm not saying
what made
anything.
you lock yourself in the restroom though? Is he being aggressive?
He was, all of the things that he was saying, I felt like he, at this point, he had done so much. I felt like he was very unpredictable. So the fact that he wouldn't leave the room, and also I just felt like he was just evil energy. So I went in the restroom to pray. And that's what I was doing, was praying to God and asking God to remove him. And the entire time he was outside of the door, begging me to come out, telling me I was childish. Like, he was going from one personality to the next. Like, it would be like, baby, please come out. And then he would turn around and be like, bitch, get the fuck out of the restroom. Bitch, you're being childish. Bitch, I'm your husband. You need to get out. And then it would go back to, baby, please. At one point, he tells me, baby, please. And then he gets mad and was like, you know what? I'm finna burn this bitch down. So he starts trying to light the bathroom door on fire. And I instantly am like, please, like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I was like, my son is here. Stop. I was like, I think that you should leave tomorrow or right now. Like, I just think you need to leave. I was like, because I don't think that you're mentally sane enough to be here. He was like, I'll go downstairs and I'll leave tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. The next morning, it's like I wait. I didn't even get end up ever going to sleep because I just didn't trust him. So around like 5:30, 6 a.m., I go downstairs and I tell him, like, hey, I think that you need to leave right now before my kids get up. Like, I don't want you to ruin Christmas for them. He is like, are you really leaving me? Like, are you actually leaving me? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm leaving you. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, not only are you draining me and you're like mentally abusing me, you're causing a toxic environment. I was like, but like also like you slept with my mom. You've done so much. Like, you can you just please respect how I feel and just leave me alone? Can that be the one good thing that you do? So he gets up and he's like, everybody uses me, and saying that basically he's gonna tell everybody that I was messing with his friend because his friend would be there for me, like, and he never tried to like sleep with me ever, like, because when I first found out the information, like when the girl Aubrey told me about my mom and him, a few days later I went to go talk to his friend, not Isaiah, his name is Ricky, and like he was just like telling me like, he was just basically listening to me vent and was just like, like if that did happen, like that's wrong. He was like, I don't know if you're here to try to get some get back. He was like, but like we not gonna stoop to their level. And I was like, heck no, like that's not what I'm here for. Like I just really need somebody to listen to me because I don't have any friends. Like he's turned everybody against me. So anytime that me and him were having problems, like Ricky would be the person that I would call and he would just let me vent. And he snatched my phone, put it in his pocket, and he started strangling me with both of his hands. The only thing I eventually reached was his shirt, and it started ripping. And once he saw that it was ripping, he let go of my throat with one hand and ripped his shirt entirely and raveled it up and put it around my neck. And as he's doing that, he's like getting dressed, like with one hand, like putting clothes on, putting his jacket on. I knew how far it could go because I first saw a knife and I was like, no, I'm not going to lose my freedom for this man. So I looked for something and I found his other boot. And when he gives me my phone, I instantly dial 911. And then he snatches the phone and hangs it up and then takes off on his bike. I called 911 and I pressed charges. And that was the last time I seen him. And that was the last time that I've spoken to him.
Is he arrested? Is he currently in jail? What's going
So
on?
that morning the cops were looking for him and he disappeared, and like they were getting eyes on him, but this is what he does. Like he is, before I met him, he was a criminal. Like he does aggravated robbery. Like he been robbing people for like years.
So
And
you knew that prior?
yeah.
You don't know if he in the same town or if does he still know where you live?
I know he is in the same town, and the reason why I know is because not Ricky, but another one of his friends told me that he saw him at the club down here. So that morning, I guess after they lost him for the last time, he ended up calling me from a text app number and texting me telling me why did I get the laws on him. He also was writing me on Instagram saying why did I get the laws on him, and he also emailed me 3 different times. And basically he ended up admitting himself into the mental facility again based off of HIPAA law. Like they're not able to give information of any patient. So I only knew that because he called someone from the mental facility and they told me. I really am focused on healing and just like trying to build my life back up and just focusing on my kids. My biggest goal is just to get the divorce, get my tattoo covered up, and just like I think that's literally the last steps I need to take to be just feel finally set free. Everything coming to light and just everything working out the way it did, it was all because of God. If I do believe that if I would have stayed on the same path and drinking and clubbing and doing the things that I was doing, I don't think that I would have ever actually left the situation or ever gained any values in life or in my love life. Yeah, me building a life with Christ is really what gave me the strength to even get through all of this, to be honest.